Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle.
Welcome back to the Tidy Arm Hanger. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about Playmates losing the Turtle license, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle license. I've got to say that I feel partially at fault for that, but probably not. But I did make this video talking about how Playmates sucks and what they need to do to unsuck, what they should do better. And guess what? They did all of that, and we're going to do the rest of that if you want to watch that video again. You'll see that I was right. My predictions have been coming true. Many people believe this won't affect collectors, and some collectors truly do understand the implications from this. And aside from that, other companies could possibly be affected, not just Playmates. So I'm going to get into talking about this, how Playmates is always the butt of the joke for having their product on shelves for many, many years. The same figures getting reissued. And I'm going to go into that because an end of an era, that will end after the end of 2026. I guarantee you that. Coming up. Now, I first heard this topic from Mad Hatter, and he was the one to, I guess, break the news, and I was a little shocked, and I was kind of hoping he was wrong about some things with it, but, you know, I'm personally turtled out a bit, but at the same time, I kind of feel like, yeah, they're going in the right direction. We've got a lot of things happening, and there was still a bit of confusion at first. Did Playmates give it up, or was it taken away? It is literally against their will. It's gone against their will. They did not want to give it up, and they had plans many years in the future, probably for the rest of the time that they operate, to keep making this. Now, I did make the connection, or maybe I didn't. I made it myself personally, that Kenner was originally the company that made Star Wars in 1978, 1977 through 85, but technically figures in 78 through 85. And then there was a decade off. Hasbro acquired Kenner in 91 until all R1, and then started making Star Wars stuff subsequently after that. Now, as you can see right here, Hasbro is now making Kenner product. It's not Kenner making Kenner product. Hasbro's making Kenner product, but Hasbro owns Kenner. They own the likenesses of those figures. And see, now, however you want to look at it, if you want vintage styled toys made legally, then there it is. We do currently see lots of reissues, almost exact reissues, if not exact reissues. See, my understanding is Playmates still kept those 80s to 90s molds, the tooling, and just were popping out figures, but slight different decos. The paint decos were different than the originals, but close enough and good enough for me that I could get them for $10 or $12. And I was perfectly fine with that. I don't need to spend $50 or whatever. But in my video, I said one of the points was I wanted them to start putting out the rarer and harder to find figures. And I really don't think that everybody would want to scratch, but it was talked about at the last Toy Fair that this was on the table. This is what they wanted to do. And that was a good year plus after I put out my video of why Playmates sucks and what they need to do better, and they are doing better. And I'm going to go into more of that. But see, what I'm saying is an exact perfect scratch, they still can make it. Playmates can make it. But if Playmates loses the license, they can't make it. And the other problem is that if another company wanted to make Scratch, it couldn't look exactly like this unless they paid Playmates. That's my understanding with this situation and my concern. And one of the things you see here, you see like half court. Oh, when I was looking into copyright stuff, that if you were going to make a figure based on a character, it has to have at least 70% different. It has to be at least 30% different. So 70% close, I guess, is kind of how it was worded. Strange, but if it's exactly the same, and say Spin Master gets the license next for making this size figure, this type of figure, it can't look exactly like what Playmates already did. So it'd kind of be like this, and this is where I'm going with this. If another company gets it, they could make turtle figures that seem like the original, sort of like Origin style, but have to be different enough. So it would be kind of like vintage collection versus the retro collection matching Kenner Star Wars exactly, and vintage collection having more articulation and looking more like the show and that kind of stuff. I.e., the Turtles Remastered 6-pack they just put out, Playmates did this, and it's phenomenal. It is basically as if you took their vintage style figures and gave them actual articulation, not the false articulation that they had. I did not like the lack of articulation and the squat poses and all of that. So it makes these figures really what I would have loved to have had as a kid. And I would have been less disappointed in the line back in the day. But my disappointments aside, they're going in a great direction, doing everything I told them to do, by the way. You probably watched my video. But another company couldn't make these either. They would have to be different, 30% different. A lot of people probably feel like, well, we've had over 30 years of Playmates just repopping out these same old figures over and over and over. We've got enough on the market that if you want to get them, you can get them from secondhand sellers for like $15 a piece, and you could probably find places still closing out old ones, old reissues that are 2-3 years old that are trying to get rid of stock for a decent price. I mean, that's all possibilities right now, and we all look at things from right now. Most people don't look at 2 or 3 years down the road. What's 2030 gonna look like for Turtles if Playmates doesn't have it anymore? And once all this stock dries up, you're gonna see more and more expensive offerings for these, meaning that tracking these things down, even the reissues, are going to go up in price. And I, for the longest time, just always looked at this Turtle stuff, the reissues, and even the original stuff as being super ultra cheap, because it always was for me. And then 2020 it spiked up and stuff, but with them plopping them back out over and over and over, it's just like, oh, I'll just grab the newest reissue of them. As I will say, quality does seem to go down in them, but they're good enough for me to have on a shelf or to have on a card bag. So hopefully, and I'm just hoping that sometime in 2026, before they lose the rights to put this stuff out, that they make the rarer ones, the harder ones to get, and I would be in on buying them. I'd be excited for them. But then again, I don't like jumping through hoops to get them. I want to get them from a easy retailer, not have to go through some specialty, strange angle corner, get directly from them or some nonsense. But I would really like to see this stuff pushed out. They really need to go for the gold. One joke is that there's always a Turtle van at retail. And that kind of is true, but it's not really. I think they've only put it out like 7 times, which is a lot. I mean, it's more frequently than some toy lines with their main stuff, but it's still not a lot. 7 over the last 38 years or something isn't a whole lot. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they put it out 12 times. I don't know. But then this will stop getting put back out, and all of these will start getting harder to get, more expensive. But I'm more concerned about, like, what about the Channel 6 News van and some of these other ones that are just challenging to get, that are simple, slight recolors and slight remolds, different parts that they could put out at a reasonable price. I haven't seen that yet. It's something they could do this last 2026. I mean, they can really swing for the park, make as much money. They can make a lot of money in 2026, since they're not going to make a whole lot after that. Now, here's a few screen grabs I took, and I'm going to link this stuff, Amazon, down below so that you can quickly get to it. Of course, disclose that it's my affiliate link. Helps me. I get a few bucks for each time you buy something, but here's the thing. This stuff, I know there's issues with this thing being too small, but the box art's amazing. And the fact you get a brand new and all of that, a lot of fun. I saw them. There's a toy shop nearby that has them side by side, the vintage and the modern, and it's about 10% smaller. I actually haven't opened up one yet, but I've got mine. But it's a good time to get it. They had them as cheap as $30, but prices will probably start going up on them, as I don't know if Amazon's going to order more. I think they ordered more already of that one. Here is currently on sale for, it's like $3 off. I went ahead and just ordered this because I haven't ordered it yet, because once they sell out, I don't know if Amazon will do a restock, a reorder of these. Maybe they will, maybe they will. I don't know. But the Foot Cruiser was like a $300 vehicle. To get the vintage one with a box, not even sealed, was $300. 30 is amazing deal, and it's my understanding is it's exactly 1-to-1. It's just more matte finish, not as shiny. This thing is currently unavailable. It's not around anymore, but I think it's gonna come back in stock. And they've done this a few times. The fact they say currently unavailable and not sold out, I just believe it's coming back. I remember this initially with the Technodrome. That thing sold out or was currently unavailable for about 2 months. And then when it came back, and as soon as it came back, they threw it on a super cheap discount. So I haven't bought this yet, but I have the original one, so I really don't need it other than the box art. But I'm turtled out, so I'm not trying to get everything. I'm not trying to be a completist here. I'm just trying to get like the big hitter stuff. And they've been reissuing all this. They've been going in the right direction, and I'm supporting that. I love the fact they're going in the right direction. Then this mutant module drill is, it blows my mind how many parts are on this. There's 12 tiny little drill bits, which cost next to nothing to manufacture, by the way. To add in 12 of those, that's probably the cheapest part of the manufacturing process. And then the same exact material, they're probably on the same sprue or whatever, to get the handles. But they put this out at a reasonable price, like $40, not bad. They put it on sale at Target. It's Target exclusive right now, but it was $33.99. And I was looking at it when I got my screenshots. Well, I didn't screenshot this, but when I was looking at this, it was on $39.99. They put it on sale, and then 3 days later, they're all gone, system-wide. And I checked on my Targets that had them on the shelves, and they're not there anymore. And what happens is that they will ship from store, so stores are cleared out. Now, if you want to get one of these for the $33.99 price point, just go check your individual stores, because sometimes there's inventory issues, and they didn't properly backstock it and all these things, so that they don't know they still have it in the store, but they'll still sell it to you. So that's probably the only way to get it for that price. Other than that, you can still get it on the secondary market for pretty cheap. I don't know if Target's going to get any more in, but usually when they're sold out like this, it's out of stock, they're done with it. So I don't know if it's going to go to Amazon for a bit after this, and if it does, it'll go back up to the $43, $44 price point probably. But this is just amazing they put it out. And yeah, they say it's lighter. I have two. I bought two right when they came out, and I had like a coupon, so I ended up getting them each for like 30. So it was a good deal. But I'm impressed. Like, this was on my list in my video of why they suck, because they didn't put this out and they keep putting the Turtle Van out. And they kind of stopped with Turtle Van for a while and gave us all this good stuff. And they even have more good stuff planned. Hopefully 2026 is a good year for Turtles collectors. But I think I got everything I need, aside from whenever those the sewer layer comes back in stock. I'll grab me one of them. Last thing I want to say, I don't truly know how this will affect the likes of NECA, and McFarlane's throwing their hat in the ring with this Tmnt stuff. I really don't know how they'll be affected by this. Will they still be able to make everything they make? I already know Super 7 has had some issues already with the licensing of the toy looks, because they were getting a little bit too close to Playmates. And I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I know Super 7 had to kind of alter the direction and the trajectory of their own Ultimates line because of the fact that they were competing, I guess, with, because they were making a toy version, and the toy version is actually Playmates. So I don't know the whole story on that. Brian didn't elaborate too much, but he did have to kind of alter things going forward. So the line itself shifted in regards. I don't know if you ever remember the Ugly Rat King and all that. And that was what came out of that whole situation. But other companies could also be affected by this. We won't know yet. Only time will tell. And then again, maybe everyone's blowing this up too big. Maybe Playmates works a deal out by the end of 2026. But it sounds like another big player is buying it out from underneath them. And I don't know why people are trying to say it's Jazzwares, but I don't think Jazzwares has enough clout to do that. It would have to be someone like Hasbro, or a company like Hasbro, a company by like Mattel or something. But Playmates, an end of an era, and all I can say is if you don't secure yourself the stuff that you want now by the end of 2026 and they actually lose the license, I mean, the sky is the limit on the reissue stuff. that was cheap 10, 12, $13 reissue figures people are wanting the moon for now, or they're going to. I mean, this is already something that somebody wants $180 for on Amazon. It's not directly sold by Amazon, it's third party. But let me know what you guys think about this. How badly will turtle collectors be affected and damaged? Because I'm just a casual turtle collector, so it doesn't really bother me too much. But I've been doing this for so long, collecting, that I see the writing on the wall with this, and I really hope that something's worked out for hardcore collectors so that they can still keep getting the stuff they want, so they can keep dialing it out. And for me personally, I do want scratch. I want all those rare ones on a card back, and one on a card back and one to open. But let me know in the comments below, like and subscribe. Hope this video helps a few people out, and I do want to hear your opinions. Tiberium Hanger out.